So right off the rip, I didn't mess around. I went to Imagine, got the IMAX tickets, was a little concerned about the movie theater being packed and possibly having some nitwit messing with their phone, or, somebody brought their kids to the movie theater and, they're getting a little too crazy and I'm trying to, really dive into this Marvel universe. So I went ahead and I copped 7 tickets. And the strategy for that is I go end seat always. All right. So I'm not a middle of the theater guy. I'm an end seat guy. And let's say I do like row D, E, F. So I'm going 3 tickets in E, 2 in D, 2 in F. So if that makes sense. So I'm taking the furthest seat over. I'm giving myself a buffer on the left of me to make sure that I get no morons messing with me that way. And then I got nobody in front of me and nobody behind me. And I feel like that's the most economical way for me to achieve what I'm trying to achieve, which is basically like I'm the king of the movie theater when I'm in there.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Couch Critics. It's Monday, y'all. First guest, gentlemen, let's clap it up for our first guest. Let's give it a good couple claps. Not unfamiliar to the It's Monday, y'all show, though. First time on Couch Critics. Doug, how are you? Welcome.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for having me on Couch Critics.
Yeah, and I'm sorry for going super nonchalant with it. Do you prefer Cousin Doug or just Doug? Or does it not matter?
Cousin Doug's fine. Yeah, Brad and Freddy's already pretty much made Cousin Doug a household name in the podcast.
Love it. Well, cool. Well, as we talked about last week, this week, the biggest movie in the box office is, of course, Spider-Man. I think I read that it's the biggest opening weekend Marvel movie of all time. I think it surpassed Avengers, whatever that one's called. Is it Doomsday? What is it called?
Doomsday is the one coming out.
Endgame, excuse me. Yeah,
Endgame.
One coming out. So I sent Brad and Freddy like a 30-minute recap video. And if you looked into this, and I'm sure Cousin Doug will talk about it a little bit as a huge Marvel fan, you pretty much had to see like 15 movies to be able to know everything that was going on in this one. So we're going to go through sort of the experience level here as we go through with a Freddy Bat and cleanup. But Brad, with that, we'll have you give a little bit of flavor of your experience with the Marvel realm, and then we'll hear your review on Spider-Man.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Obviously, welcome, Doug. Love to have him on because I just can't wait to hear because he's got a lot of insight, and also he's going to at least comment on his movie going experiences. And that's what we're really looking for from Doug. But let me start off by saying that I did say last week, okay, I have to get caught up. I was going to watch the first 3. That was a lot of time. I overcommitted there. I didn't have time to put 3 movies together like that. So Nolan, I thank you very much for the 30-minute YouTube video that basically helped me get like up to speed at this point. So I think the reason I'm going first is I'm not the most experienced Avenger person. I'm a big Batman person. I've seen every single Batman, absolutely love Batman. Batman has always been my favorite. The last Spider-Man movie I saw, Tobey Maguire, was the Spider-Man. And when the last time I saw Spider-Man, Aunt May wasn't hot. That was new to me. Like Marissa Tomei. Like, when did they make Aunt May hot? And my question to you guys is, who played Ben? Who played Uncle Ben back then? I don't know. So maybe one of you can answer that for me as we go. But I really thought that helped me get up to speed as to where it is. And number one was the fact that in the previous ones that MJ and Ned had no clue who Peter Parker was. That was obviously some key information going into this movie. So, watching the movie, you get this feeling. It was funny, about halfway through the movie, I was like, man, I'm going to leave this movie very similar to how I left the Michael Jackson movie. Like, you felt like, oh my gosh, I feel sorry for this guy. Like, they use that term, with great power comes great responsibility. And you have this feeling for the guy, like, man, it's terrible. Like, I had the experience of going through college and doing all these things, and he was just watching it through reels and watching his friends live their life, and yet had this great responsibility that he had to be as being Spider-Man. So you kind of like felt for it. And I'm not sure how you guys all viewed it. I went to Imagine. I went to see it on Wednesday. Packed house, crazy packed house. I sent the boys a picture. I was going popcorn and pop. So I had to get in line, and the line was just ridiculous, that was crazy. But I absolutely, really, really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was great. I thought it brought a very good, like, human emotion. The other thing I thought was interesting about this is, like, it also brought in a human element for Tom Holland as the character of Spider-Man when he loses his powers, because of, like, the amount of, like, stress and pressure that he had on him. Like, I thought that was really cool the way they brought that in there. And I don't know, just I love the movie. I think Tom Holland, after watching this one, by far is the best Spider-Man. And I also thought, I've said numerous times on here, I'm a big John Barathol fan. I thought he was awesome in it. And I now have to probably go back and watch Punisher, just because I think that, and I'm curious what Doug's thoughts on that was. And I did watch X-Men, so I knew who Jean Grey was coming into this movie. I knew it right away. I was like, oh, that's Jean Grey. So I thought that was really cool. The one part that really killed me, and I tell you guys this every time we go on the podcast, I'm a guy that wants love to win. And when Jean Grey took over MJ's body at that one scene, I was devastated for him, man. I felt terrible. I felt absolute terrible. I'm like, this bitch, how could she do that to him? But I loved it. I am going to give it a 4.9. And the only reason I'm not giving it a 5 is because I want more Tony Stark, and I want to see more Tony Stark. Fred, oh my God, whatever. 4.9, little more Tony Stark would have got it to a 5.
All right. Hey, cousin Doug, Freddie and I really have to remind ourselves each week that we don't do rating shaming here on this broadcast. So
I had to put my glasses on because I thought he was fucking around. I thought, like, he was going to be smirking or something and be like, I'm just kidding, guys. But no, I'm not shaming him at all. No, I wasn't shaming. I was surprised. I mean, just go on, please. Did you ever see the Red Fox meme where he's like, "You're killing me"?
This is the big one.
The big one. Here it comes. Like, that's how I felt. I felt like Sanford. Go ahead.
4.9.
Wow.
We'll transition over to me as we wait to go to our Marvel expert before getting to Freddie. For me, I am a huge X-Men fan. So Jean Grey, that was cool. Kind of seeing it from, like, the beginning stages there, I think was pretty awesome. And what a cool superpower, if you want to call it that, right? That Jean Grey has. I mean, it'd be on the short list of things that you would want to have if you, of course, had your choice of the litter, I guess. But for me, I don't know. I grew up with, like, the Green Goblin, Sandman, these types of supervillains. Although I'm a huge fan of Jean Grey, sort of that premise, it just felt a little bit soft to me for, like, what I'm used to from seeing from, Spider-Man. And even I think the last Spider-Man to come out was the one where they had Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. And even that one, it was like all of these supervillains, like, coming out, and it was a little bit more action packed. Obviously, with the superpowers that Jean Grey does have, it has to be, like, a little bit softer. And I felt like the way that she, like, transitioned from person to person was just, like, overly dramatic in terms of, like, the reaction that people's bodies had, which kind of lost me there. But I agree with Brad. When he's kind of saving MJ and they get up to the roof and they're about to, of course, share that kiss, you kind of just knew it coming, but you didn't want it to be true. Like, you could kind of tell that, at least I could, that was going to happen. I think I said, like, audibly in the theater, I was like, oh, no. And then, like, it happened. And I was like, yeah. But packed house, to me, the best Spider-Man is crazy. Or did you say best Spider-Man with Tom Holland?
No, I'm saying that between Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, I think Tom Holland was the best one.
I think that's crazy. So I was split between 3, 5, and 4, but I rounded up to 4 because I do think that the movie is really good. But I don't think that it's up there with The Odyssey or a movie such as that. Really good movie. It went by super fast, but too much sadness for me from this one is what, and I'm not really looking for that. And again, I'm not surprised that, Brad, you really like this, because I think you kind of liked that romantic side of it that really played out throughout.
I love.
I want to go into a Marvel movie, no matter if it's Spider-Man or whatever it is, and I just want to see people beat the shit out of each other. Like, that's what I'm going for. And there just, to me, wasn't enough of that, because obviously with Jean Grey's powers, like, wasn't really beating the shit out of anybody. Like it was kind of evading the whole time. It was more of like a chase, right? So that to me, and I also will say this, and Cousin Doug, I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on this. It felt a little Deadpoolish to me too, like where there was an added, like an increased element of like humor. The jokes landed pretty well, but like throughout the movie, I was like, am I watching Deadpool or Spider-Man? Because again, like those Spider-Mans that I grew up with were pretty like they were a little bit more serious, a little bit more cutthroat when Tobey Maguire was in it. But again, still a really good movie. Like it is really good. Again, set 3.75, but on Letterboxd it did round up to 4. So go ahead, Brad.
Let me just say something before Doug goes real quick. And I think and I got thrown off and Freddie threw me off because he was rate shaming me. I felt like
Quite the accusation.
to your point, I did like it because of the softness and the feel and the emotion of it. And I also wanted to note something too. I love the way that it ended a lot with the scene with him and Ned at the end, because that gave me that feeling, that not feeling of the Michael Jackson movie that they know he knows who he is, like that friendship. So yeah, I mean, that's why I forgot to mention how much I enjoyed the way that it ended too, which then increased my number.
There you go. All right, Cousin Doug, floor is
All
yours.
right. All right. Well, first off, I want to say thanks again to the Couch Critics for having me on. You guys set the bar pretty high as far as me being a Marvel expert. I wouldn't go that far. I have seen most of the Marvel movies, if not all. I am a nerd. I mean, I have comic books and collected action figures and all that kind of stuff. So I'm probably much more of a nerd than you guys, but I'm not a geek and I'm not a dork. Let's got to keep that straight. I thought the movie was incredible, actually. I thought it was really good. One of the better Spider-Man movies. Not the best, I don't think, but I do think it's quite up there. Talk about the movie experience, Brad. I know you're always curious about my thought on how I'm going into the movie theater experience. So right off the rip, I didn't mess around. I went to Imagine, got the IMAX tickets, was a little concerned about the movie theater being packed and possibly having some nitwit messing with their phone, or, somebody brought their kids to the movie theater and, they're getting a little too crazy and I'm trying to, really dive into this Marvel universe. So I went ahead and I copped 7 tickets. And the strategy for that is I go end seat always. All right. So I'm not a middle of the theater guy. I'm an end seat guy. And let's say I do like row D, E, F. So I'm going 3 tickets in E, 2 in D, 2 in F. So if that makes sense. So I'm taking the furthest seat over. I'm giving myself a buffer on the left of me to make sure that I get no morons messing with me that way. And then I got nobody in front of me and nobody behind me. And I feel like that's the most economical way for me to achieve what I'm trying to achieve, which is basically like I'm the king of the movie theater when I'm in there. So that's what happened.
Hold on really quick. So
I knew you were going to love this, Nolan. I could not wait until you heard this.
really quick. So what happens, like, so you buy 7 tickets, great. Are you just eating 7 times 15?
Yeah, whatever the cost is, I'm eating all 7 tickets, 100%.
So it costs you.
Yeah.
It costs you.
There's no budget. There's no budget when I'm going to the theater. I'm also a very big nostalgia guy. So like I'm going through the popcorn line and I'm copping the Spider-Man popcorn bucket, and I'm also getting the Spider-Man blanket. So I kind of blankie to keep maximum comfort. It's $110 movie experience. There's no doubt about it between the tickets and the popcorn and the Coke Zero. I'm not like Brad. I don't pack the snacks and I don't keep 12 ounces of soda only. You know what I mean? I try to really indulge when I go to the movies. I don't think I've ever seen a movie without eating popcorn ever. It's never happened. So I don't, and I've been going to the movies my whole entire life. Brad let a little snippet in before. Me and my wife been together for 32 years since we were like young kids pretty much. And we go to the movies like every single Friday forever until about COVID time. And then from now it's a little less frequently, but still more than most people. So spend a lot of time in movie theaters. But anyways, I like to get a lot of tickets. I like to make sure that nobody can be around me. I can't always do that. Like if the tickets aren't available, I won't do that. Obviously, if I think that the movie is not a big movie and it's not going to be packed, I wouldn't do that either. But this movie I knew would be packed. I knew we sold out. Something gives me internal bliss of knowing that 6 other people couldn't see the movie because of me. I like that aspect of it as well. And also don't think for one second that I don't get anxiety about somebody potentially sitting in one of the seats that I purchased, because I will tell them that that's my seat. If it comes down to it, I won't be proud of it, but I will do it. So if I have to take a break, have the usher come in, flashlight them out of there, we'll do it, you know, but
I was
I
gonna
reserve,
say that would be
I
kind of a
reserve the
gutty
right.
move.
Reserve the right.
That would be kind of a gutty move for you to like buy the tickets and then get refunded and then like at the last minute. But like the fact that you eat the cost is
Yeah. I will
incredible.
say, it has happened. People have sat in my seat before, and honestly, most 99% of the time, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to cause a scene, obviously. But the funny thing is like, it will make me, like, I'll be like, you gotta be kidding. It's not your seat, you know? But anyways, get into the movie. So that's the movie experience. A great view. Everybody was very polite in the movie theater, by the way. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting it to be a little more talky and maybe the kids on the phones and all that kind of thing. It wasn't. It was very chill. Quite frankly, a waste of money buying all the extra tickets. But getting into the movie, I loved the movie. Freddie has made a comment before about, he's not really into like wizardry and like that kind of stuff. And I gotta admit, I kind of like that in a way. I'm a little bit of all of you guys when it comes to movies. I like serious movies that are like, cinematically award-winning films. I like ridiculous movies that make absolutely no sense, comedies, Marvel, you name it. I'm into all of it. However, what I like about this Spider-Man movie, to me, besides the fact that it's Spider-Man, he's flying through the sky and doing all kinds of crazy stuff, it seemed like a really realistic movie. Right? And I think that the reason for it, probably to me, is one of the biggest co-stars of the movie, and that's the city of New York. It's a beautiful backdrop, right? I love New York, first off, but second off, just seeing the city like that, and the concrete and the buildings and the lights and the people and the diversity, and then just being the backdrop of every single scene in this film. I think that's one of the biggest co-stars of the film is the city. And cinematically, I thought it was shot very well. The soundtrack was dope. I mean, the music was really good in the background. Actually went to music thing to get some of the songs because I wanted to have some own added to my own playlist that I didn't already have. I thought it was great. Movie itself, getting into the movie, I like the villains. I thought the Scorpion was kind of cool. It's not somebody you see very often or anything like that. So I thought it was kind of neat that they just kind of threw that in there. Like most people probably have never even seen that person before, so it's pretty cool. The Red Hand was pretty sick. I thought that was cool, very visually appealing, seeing them do their thing. Spider-Man himself, Tom Holland. I mean, what can you say? He's a handsome boy, short king like myself. Love that. I don't know. I love that his agent must have like a great deal with the people that are filming the movie, because the way that they were lighting him up and making him hit all the angles with the hands. And the fight was Zendaya. I mean, they're at high almost the whole film. I mean, which is absolutely ridiculous. You know what I mean? She's like 6 feet tall. But the movie itself was absolutely great. I loved it. Very entertaining. I did not think that it was 2 hours and 30 whatever minutes it was long. I didn't really, quite frankly, I'm gonna be honest with you. When it gets to the final, like the big battle scene with Jean Grey and how cool that was with the mind control and the Punisher and all that stuff, like honestly, I thought like I was watching this movie. I was so into it that I thought like something else was gonna happen. Like I was thinking like maybe this isn't it. Maybe like okay, they did this thing, they stopped the whole the whole issue, and he saved the day, and Spider-Man's going to. Is this, are we giving away the plots and all that? Does that matter in the show?
Yeah, no,
Don't
go
matter.
ahead. No,
Oh,
no,
okay, cool.
no.
So Spider-Man's in the hospital, obviously, took a bullet, etc. And I kept thinking like something else was about to happen. He's gonna come out of that hospital and everybody's cheering for him and like that. But then I'm thinking like, I'm looking at my watch and I'm like, this movie's about to end. Like this is over. It's done. I felt like they could have went another direction. Obviously they will in a different situation. I love John Bernthal, big John Bernthal fan. The Punisher was really sick. I love that part of it. I thought that was really cool. Thought they played well off of each other. MJ super cute. The whole friend thing, that coming back from college, the whole thing was great. And to Nolan, like you said about the Doomsday reference, not Doomsday, but the jokey reference with Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it started with a D. I know that. Deadpool. Absolutely. Yeah, there was a lot of that kind of like humor. I liked it. It was good. Overall, I give the movie a 4.1. Not quite as enthusiastic as Brad about like giving it like top tier rating. Not going to shame the 4.9 or nothing, but it was a great movie, great Marvel movie. And I think what I liked most about it was it just seemed realistic. Something about like a superhero. I love when like they lose their powers or like there's a problem with their powers and they got to get into like the biomechanical stuff to help fix things. Like I like that better. Like to me, that's more of something that I'm into more than the wizardry and like the space stuff and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, like I liked it a lot. I think that's all I can say at this second.
All good. Something that I
Let me
did forget about is the
go ahead.
evolution of like, because if you watch the trailer is very heavily, like at least parts of it, very focused on like the evolution of a spider, right? And there's a little bit of education in there and like how it kind of happens of why he's going through what he's going through. I would have loved to like like a little, like maybe add 5 or so minutes to like further go into that, right? At least I was. They played that little video and then he kind of jokes. He's like, turn that spider stuff off. But I was like, no, like fucking play that video. Like, let me watch that. Like, cause I don't really know what's happening or why he's going through what he's going through. But, you know, it is what it is. But sorry.
I forgot to mention too, and Freddie, I hope this isn't going to steal any of your thunder, but the Hulk. I mean, I can't believe I forgot to even mention that. I thought that
Right.
was probably one of the cooler parts of the movie was seeing the Hulk in the movie.
Yeah. If you look at the picture, cause I think that Sony took over this time. If you look at
that
the
was really cool.
difference, that's pretty cool. Like they made the Hulk like pretty badass, but you know, Mark Ruffalo, what up?
Real quick before Freddy goes too, and like obviously they called cousin Doug a reason because he is my cousin, and we're like months apart, so we're just as close as brothers. You know, for our whole life. So it makes me. First of all, it's awesome to have him on here, but it brings back some memories when we were kids, when we would go to my grandma's house and Doug used to have this Spider-Man bike. And it was like this short little bike. Dude would rip up and down the street, man. Nobody was touching his Spider-Man bike. Maybe you could get one spin on it, but that was about it.
Yeah, Spider-Man tricycle. I think I vote.
All right, Freddie, let's hear it.
All right. Yeah. Listen.
Yeah, rip it apart, Fred.
What's that?
Rip it apart.
Oh no, I'm a big Marvel guy. No, I'm in all honesty, I've never seen a bad Marvel movie or a bad TV show from Marvel. Never. Marvel kind of goes through phases, as you guys know. So they kind of like peak and then plateau and stuff like that. This is the beginning of another apex. So like for me personally, going back, like it's hard to come to make a Spider-Man movie after No Way Home. Like, No Way Home was the apex of Spider-Man movies and his whole storyline. You know, like bringing the three back together, which is not something that more MCU does, because that's what the MCU is. They don't bring that is not even part of the MCU technically, is the older Spider-Mans. So to bring them three together, like broke MCU like protocol, kind of. That movie No Way Home, that was like one of, if not like that's up there with, there's the regular movies and then there's the Avenger movies, right? The Civil War, Endgame, Infinity War, stuff like that. Those are like the where they get to, right? In the phases. But No Way Home was up there with one of the best Marvel movies because of everything that was going on with the whole, having Doctor Strange in there and doing all that stuff. So to come off of No Way Home and to get to this, it seems like they're starting over, right? Because it kind of brings me back to like one of the first Homecoming, kind of like that first kind of getting your feet wet with the whole story. And I guess Brand New Day makes sense that they're getting their feet wet again. And it was kind of, I was looking for something that was going to be a banger. Like when I started reading all the numbers that it was bringing in and all this shit, I was like, this is going to be crazy because like I said, No Way Home was at its peak of Spidey. So I was super excited coming in. With that being said, I'm a little, not disappointed, but underwhelmed, I guess I would say, with this type, with Brand New Day. I thought the movie was good. I really did. I enjoyed it. But it wasn't one of the best Spidey movies. and it wasn't one of the best Marvel movies at all. It was a regular inline Marvel MCU movie. So, I mean, it was good. I love New York City, like Cousin Doug was saying. I mean, part of the reason I like Marvel is because it's not wizardry where there's fake universes. Most Marvel movies occur on Earth. You know, like the settings are here. And in the one, you know, the Battle for New York, if you've watched in the Marvel universe, the Battle for New York was awesome. You know, one of the greatest battles in all of any superhero film. So yeah, I love it. I mean, the thing that turns me off a little bit, kid's from Queens, he's a Mets fan. So like, I not that I'm holding that against him, but it's not, he's not from the Bronx or Brooklyn. He's not from Jersey. He's from Queens. He's a Mets fan, which is cool. You know, like it's a notch down, right? It's hard for somebody to, you know, take the ball and run with it when you're the Mets of superheroes. So like that there kind of like, you know, he has to do a lot, right? And I thought that in No Way Home, he really did a lot. And I think that I can't stop talking about No Way Home. Like, do you so that's my thing here. Now, overall, I gave it a 3.6. And I thought it was a really good movie, you know, but like I said, again, this is baseline for when you get into the MCU. This is like baseline stuff. You know, like me personally, my favorite, like it was awesome having Punisher in there. I think that helped. I love the Hulk, and I think that type of thing helped. Obviously, any other things that are going on in these MCU movies always makes the movie better. And that's why Avengers does so well, because the Avengers come together. You know, so like, but Punisher, some of my favorite MCU guys, it's Punisher, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. I love Daredevil. So like, you know, like some of the lower tier guys, I'm really into and stuff like that. This Spidey comes out in Civil War, I believe, which was before Homecoming. So like he's been around for quite a long time, and it's just like I'm gonna say it again. The apex was No Way Home. We're just starting over. I'm going to say that even the next movie, Spidey Returns, I don't even know if that's going to get to the... I think we're like 2 movies away from where another great Spider-Man movie is going to be, if that makes sense. I don't know. But yeah, overall, it was good. You're going to be entertained the whole time. I do agree with Nolan. When I go into the MCU movies, I just want total fucking chaos the whole time. Like that's the essence of the MCU, is like just total fucking chaos. This didn't have, it had a long periods of time without it. I think the heartbreaking part, Brad, that I thought you were going to come up with is when he sees Flash kiss her. You know, like that right there. I mean, that tugged at the heartstrings a little bit. I guess like you kind of knew something was going to be up. Like when he went to the party and stuff, you were like, there's going to be a dude here that's her boyfriend. Like, you know, but he sees the video and, you know, Flash, who's the last person on Earth, he would probably rather have Ned hooking up with her. But so that was kind of tough to watch. The scene that all you guys spoke about with the kiss, you knew something was fucked up, but you had to sit there and watch it, right? You knew it and you had to sit and watch it and feel bad. And it was tough, but like, you know, all in all, it was a good movie. I mean, I enjoyed it. It's just not, it's not up there. And they have even in the Spidey verse, they have another 2 movies to go before, you know, we're going to get another No Way Home type of, you know, really, really good Spider-Man.
So that makes sense to me now, and why you rate shamed me, because you have to understand, like I watched the 30-minute video, right? So I now want to go back and watch. You said it was Homecoming?
No, it's Homecoming, Far From Home, and then No Way Home. No Way Home. Those 3 they all coincide with each other. Although there are some, the last 2 are right after each other. The Homecoming is in the same right before the second one, but there are a couple movies in between where you would see like the Doctor Strange and stuff like that. But
what's the one that you say is the best? What's the one that you say is
No Way Home?
No Way Home. Okay.
But to lead up to No Way Home, I think you really should watch Homecoming and then Far From Home. Like, because those three are a trilogy within itself, and they continue. The movies are like literally go right into each other. And then, like I said, I just feel like the moment that Spidey 1, 2, and 3 came onto the screen, that's like one of the biggest moments in MCU history. I mean, I don't know. Nolan, do you agree?
I think so. I think you're fair to
That
say.
moment is one of the top moments of all of them.
Yeah, No Way Home is definitely probably, in my opinion, one of the better ones. I also kind of look at these movies like, especially the Spider-Man ones that are so closely connected, is like you're watching this new movie because it's the new movie, it's the new
Yeah.
hot movie, it's right. But like it's like it's the whole storyline. So it's
Yes.
kind of like you're kind of watching 3-4 movies in one, right? But this is the new hot, and
And
you know,
and exactly what I'm saying too, Doug, is the part where like this is like going back to Homecoming, where Homecoming came out and you're like, "Ooh, Spidey's out. That's cool." But when you package the three together from Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home, when you package those together, you're like, "Okay, now it's, that's why I think Brand New Day, they probably have two more that are gonna like package this deal into before it hits an apex of another Spider-Man moment."
I also like the detective too was really good from I don't know her name, but she's in the band, obviously.
Yep.
Oh
But
yeah,
I
she's the cook in
thought
there.
that was a
Yeah,
great
that's what she's from.
that was a great they played well off of each other. I thought they had a good friendship, a good working relationship, I should say.
Yeah. I do agree with you guys, though. John Bernthal was the best character in there. He was great.
So awesome.
Also, I keep thinking about the Hulk. I feel like every Marvel movie I watch, that's at least in New York City for that matter, the Hulk's just there every time without like,
Well,
I don't know if Mark
well, he
Ruffalo is a
teaches
bad
at
agent
Empire State.
or, yeah, but I don't know if he's got a good agent or a bad one. He just like keeps getting Marvel calls. Obviously, he's getting paid handsomely for it, I'm sure. But like the guy just is always working. Like, because these movies, like they're always coming out and like they obviously take a while. So I feel like, I don't know. But I saw a funny tweet the other day where it was like, if you are a Marvel superhero, do you ever get to leave New York? Like, when do you move out? Like, when do you move? Like,
Well,
when
yeah,
do you get to
and
go to like Chicago and like mix it up a little bit? Just like doesn't
and
happen.
like if you did follow along, it's like, Daredevil is in Hell's Kitchen. So like, and then Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, they're all right there. I mean, but again, and I've said this to you guys a million times, New York is the epicenter of the world. Like, so like there's no bigger place than New York City.
Just a lot of scumbags, a lot of crime. Need that many superheroes.
Of course.
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
need
listen,
the superheroes.
Yeah.
listen, you guys out there, you guys had RoboCop. We have the Marvel universe.
Don't get Doug started on RoboCop.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Clarence Bodecker is one of the greatest villains in all of all movie history.
One of those, is it one of the, not RoboCop, I think it's Beverly Hills something.
Beverly Hills
Beverly Hills
Cop.
Cop.
I think that comes out this week, a new one, right? Or
No.
something.
No,
Some
they just came out with the newest one about a year ago.
There's I don't know if that's what it is, but there's another one that's like
Really?
cop related that comes out. Yeah, this week. I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
I'm a big Beverly Hills Cop guy, obviously.
Me too. Me
Come
too.
on. Who's
Yeah.
not? Yeah, 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Axel. But yeah.
I gotta say,
he was a Detroit cop.
yeah, Axel Foley. I'm embarrassed if what you're saying is true, Nolan. I'm truly embarrassed that I'm not in the know about this, and I'm gonna get flamed by the couch critics, cretins out there by not knowing this.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
I'm very curious what you're
fucked it up.
talking about too.
Super Troopers.
Super Troopers 3.
I knew it was something cop.
Did you just
Same thing.
relate Super
Dude.
Troopers to Beverly Hills
They're
Cop?
in Vermont.
Look at these fucking guys. Like, dude, I don't know. I just saw it in passing, and I was like, you guys were talking about it. I'm like,
They were downtown at Comic-Con, a couple weeks ago and stuff. The Super Troopers were down there to promote Super Trooper 3. Big Super Trooper guy I am. I am. It's awesome. Will I go to the theater to watch it if I have to, if couch critics, brings me there. But it's a movie that you're going to watch on your couch
Preferably
rather than.
stoned.
No, Doug, I do have a question for you, Doug.
Sure.
Now, when you watch a movie at home, what's your setup? Like, do you allow other people to watch with you besides wifey?
So besides wifey, no, not at all. Most likely because I'm a recluse and but to set the stage for you, I'm down in the man cave. Okay. The wife calls it the basement. I call it the lower level. But I got it all set up, the big screen, all the ambient lighting, all that kind of stuff. And yes, I do have popcorn when I watch the movies here as well. And I do have popcorn buckets that I buy from Amazon to give me the movie experience because I got to have the whole experience. I pop the popcorn, butter it, salt it, shake it up, and then boom, lights, action, cinema.
Nice.
There you go.
So you're not inviting us over ever to watch a movie.
I'm not saying that. Not saying that at all.
We would have to sit in a different room and start at the same time.
There's plenty of rooms in his house.
No, I would be more than happy to have you over to watch a movie in my house. I will say too, I'm a big pause guy. I can't let movies just run. I don't know about you guys, and I'm also a quiet guy. Like I'm not a big talker when I'm watching a movie. Like the wife does not like that, so she's more. Like if she gets up and like goes to the fridge, I'm like pause it. He's like, you don't have to pause it. I'm like, I can't do it. You're giving me anxiety over here. I have to be totally locked in. There's too much going on in the bathroom. Oh, dog's got to go to the bathroom. Pause.
Well, yes, and I feel the same way because you also don't want to have to explain something because they may say, go ahead, let it run. But when they come back, they're still going to ask. They may ask, wait, what did he just say? And you're like, well, if you were here, you would have saw it. So that's why let's just pause it so we experience it together.
Yeah. Unless you're watching 72 hours, then just let that motherfucker run.
Did you see that movie, Doug? I know
I did not.
You
see
have
it.
not.
So I watched as a Couch Critics fan. I watched the video obviously, and you guys told me everything I needed to know. There's no reason to see it. And I'm gonna be honest, Fred. You made a comment on the video of what I said similar in a parallel conversation regarding like some of the newer movies that he's just dropped on the streaming platform. And there's a lot of other stars that I could name drop as well. Like some of these movies, they're just absolutely dog shit. I mean, they look great because of the new technology. They can make movies so inexpensively now and make them look halfway decent. These movies are so terrible. I mean, the script and the joke, the really bad graphics. I'm calling it graphics, more like special effects and stuff like that. Like when they're using guns and like they're using like light flashes on the end of the guns instead of actual like mechanical guns where shells are coming out of the guns and they're ejecting shells and stuff like that, like real actual movie stuff. Like there's so many cheap ways I think now to make a movie, and they're doing it so quickly. They're just dropping these things. Like it's a big action movie. I love action movies. I love all movies.
Putting a big name in a terrible script and just dropping it. That's really
this
bad.
is coming from a guy. Again, I have a lot of knowledge knowing Doug my entire life. This comment is coming from a guy who's seen every single Steven Seagal movie, even the ones that went straight to VHS. Now, Nolan, you probably don't know what a VHS is, but if they went right to VHS, Doug still watched the Steven Seagal movie.
I'll tell you how much I love the Steven Seagal. even the worst, shittiest ones, and sometimes the shittier the better. But like when I used to travel for work once in a while when I had a different career, and I used to bring movies on the plane with me because they didn't. Nolan, I don't know how young you are, but they didn't have screens on all the movies. You had to bring your little portable DVD player with headphones. And I would have my friend burn me like the latest Steven Seagal movie. Right? And I'm watching this. I brought this movie on the plane with me. So just think about the mentality there. I'm going on a plane. Anything could happen. This thing could tank into the Atlantic Ocean. I'm going to watch Steven Seagal kick somebody's ass, take down a whole team of mercenaries. And I love the ridiculousness of it. You know what I mean? I love it. I still walk around quoting Hard to Kill in like all those movies like almost every single day. Like there's not a day that goes by quoting movies.
I don't know who Steven Seagal is. I do know what VHS is, and I am 28.
Wow.
Let me get some of those VHS.
If you're clipping this at all to put on any kind of like 28-year-old, what do you call those things you put out there that are not the full video that you put on YouTube?
Yes,
Clips.
real.
Shorts.
the clip that needs to be on here. Is you don't know who Steven Seagal is? Holy shit!
Nolan was born the year I graduated, Doug. You were already
That's crazy.
you
I get
you
it,
were
man.
on your
Listen, I
first year of
understand.
college.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
All right. Cool.
maybe we could watch. Maybe we could. Hey, listen, this is not my show. Obviously, I'm just
I
cousin
got
Doug.
you, Doug.
Okay, I'm fighting
I
the
know
I
guy.
what
know
you're
where you're
saying,
going,
Doug.
and I love it, Douglas. I love
Mark for death.
Yes, and also I Out for Justice would be the one I would recommend. Okay, because you know the scene in the bar, Freddy. I mean, come on.
Of course.
I mean, the whole thing. Nolan, that's
I
my
think
suggestion.
I really think Nolan would love that movie.
I'm
If you go
down to
love
do
every
that
year, you don't have blood pulsing through your veins.
as like a side quest. We could do 2 movies. I'll watch that too. You know.
Little throwback cinema.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll throw back of the week. Yeah, it'd be good for us. But anyways, I did watch the Hot Ones. So the show on YouTube where they eat the hot wings. John Bernthal and Tom Holland. It's really good. They should watch that. Coming off of Spider-Man and the Odyssey, because they're obviously in it together in both. So yeah, I recommend that. But Brad, unfortunately, is taking us out of the theater this week. He's going back to Jackson. So Freddie, we're gonna lean on you. What do you want to see this week?
Now, there's a couple things I want to see, but I think the easiest one and the one that's getting some traffic that's coming out is coming out tomorrow on Netflix called The Last House. It's a little bit, I mean, I'm without the only thing I read about it is it's one of those family gets stuck in the house for some reason and you know, paranormal things kind of stuff. Now, I don't know anything else really about it. I do know the 2 actors that are in it, actress and actor, but like, you know, that I just saw that it was getting a lot of traction because, and most likely it may not even be that good, most likely because it's dropping tomorrow on Netflix.
Right.
So this might be one of the reasons, but yeah, I mean, that would be easy with Brad in Mississippi and stuff if they have Netflix down there. You know, it would be, it's an easy watch.
It's actually a good question, Brad. Like, do they have the capabilities to stream anything?
Never been to Mississippi. I'm not going to Mississippi. I'm actually going to Wisconsin, or some people call it the UP. However, I was going to pick a movie called One Night Only, real good rom-com that drops tomorrow too. So I'm going to probably watch that one as well as The House. And then honestly, I never even brought this up to him. I'm going to put him on the spot. Cousin Doug, I want to formally invite you to be on this every Thursday night, dropping on Friday morning. I think you'd be a huge asset, a huge addition to this. I think you bring a lot of, maybe temper Freddy down a little bit would be helpful in some of the outlandish shit he says. But you take your time, you make a decision. I think all of us would agree. Then your knowledge and your stories are priceless, my friend.
I would love to sit down on the couch with the critics and continue talking movies. I will not temper down Freddy because that's one of my favorite parts of the show.
That was like a surprise engagement, but I'm glad it seems like you said yes, though. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So The Last House, and then my side project. Send me what my side project is again, and I'll watch that
Out
too.
for Justice.
There we go. Out for Justice. Maybe I'll have to go to the Family Video in town, get a disc. We'll see.
You can actually next time you go visit Sarah, Doug is actually on your way there to her house, and you can pick it up on VHS. And I'm sure he's got a player in the attic. You can watch it on. But please, Nolan, please be kind and rewind.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Doug.
yeah.
Now that
Amazon Prime has all those movies on there.
Okay, great. Yeah, and Doug too. Now that you're, we're all in this together. If you ever buy, 12 tickets again, just let us know. We'll pull up. We'll take one of those seats.
Hey, by the way, having extra tickets is only when you're riding dirty, when you're riding solo. Because if you have your friends with you, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm fine with that. Well, I would prefer to have the people that I know around me. That's great. It's just having these thick weirdo strangers around me. That's what gives me the heebie-jeebies.
I bought the seat, the first seat inside of the aisle, and then sat in the aisle seat. And myself and the young kid next to me, we used that as a holster for our popcorn.
You gotta have some place to put your man bag.
Well, yeah, and I did have my man bag.
That too. That's an OG move though, Brad. That is good.
It worked out. You know, I was
Yeah.
always creeping on my shoulder waiting for somebody to kick me out of this seat because I didn't purchase it, you know. But that probably would have been a pro move to get both of them. But it worked out well for now.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, we're going to take a little bit of a break from the theater this week. With another packed August, another Anne Hathaway movie coming out. I feel like we've been seeing a lot of Anne Hathaway recently.
What's the Anne Hathaway movie? Tell me.
Which I'm not complaining about. I think it's the new dinosaur movie. I don't
The
remember.
dinosaur one.
The Last House on Oak Street or something like that. Or
Yeah.
the House on Oak Street comes out like I think middle of August. But anyways.
Oh, is that the one they showed the preview in the movies?
Yeah.
Was it Odyssey? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. So break from the theater. We'll be back next week. And then anything else, gentlemen? All good? All right,
Nope.
cool. Another edition of Couch Critics. It's Monday, y'all. Make sure to tune in on Monday for the sports side of this and everything Red Sox.
Take care, boys.
See you guys. Like and subscribe.